In this video, you're going to learn what the AI listing coach in our AI studio does. Two, you're going to learn the types of questions and advice you can get from the AI listing coach. And three, you're going to learn the best practices and tips so you can coax the best advice and strategies out of this AI tool. All right, on my screen here, you can see the AI listing coach in our AI studio. And it's very easy to use. You can type things in here. So for example, I could come in here and say, I have a listing appointment. What tips can you share to help me prepare? This AI listing coach has been trained on almost 10 years worth of training materials, documents, presentations, conferences, online learning programs. There is almost a decade's worth of training and information in here on everything that my firm has done to educate literally hundreds of thousands of real estate professionals on how to go about doing a listing appointment, doing a listing presentation, and even generating listings. This tool has also been trained on all of our buyer-related information, so it doesn't just work for providing listing-related tips and strategies and information. Will also work and help you, for example, with your buyer strategies. Might be your buyer presentation, could be your buyer consultation process. It's been trained on all of it. All right, so I did a quick prompt just to show you what this tool is. I went in and I said I have a listing presentation that I'm going to give or a listing appointment, and it shared the overall strategy with me. It says start with the initial consultation. It said send out a pre-listing packet, then prepare myself for the in-person appointment. So it has a very step-by-step process because, again, it's been trained on all of the information that we have on this. There's also very specific things like scripts in here that are used that you can use. But I can even do more than that. So let me go ahead in here. I'm going to use the actual voice dictation feature because I find that this just makes it a little bit easier so you don't have to watch me type. And also I can be a lot more conversational with it like I would if I were talking to an actual real estate coach. So let me go ahead and prompt something similar, but I'm going to expand on this. Can you help me prepare for this listing presentation? The seller believes that their home is worth around $650,000. I have done my research. I've done a CMA. It's showing that we should list it probably more around $599,000. The home is located in Southwest Austin. And the seller is very reasonable. I just think they have a gap in information. It's been, I think he said, several months since they last looked at what their home value, or at least what they thought it was, using Zillow. And since that time, the market has come down a little bit. And I believe to get the home sold in the time that they want, we're going to have to list it at $599,000. If you could help me come up with a strategy and maybe some scripts so that I can best share the information to set up the seller so that they are willing to accept my pricing strategy. Now, I was really verbose in there, like I might be if I were actually talking to my coach or talking to my broker or maybe a team leader or a mentor or something like that, a mentor agent. I'm just going to fire it off here because I want to see how it does with this almost stream of conscious question that I've put out there. Now, again, the context is pretty straightforward, right? I'm about to meet with a seller. They believe their home is worth one price. I, after my research, believe it to be another. And so I'm asking for the tool to provide for me some scripting strategies so that I can best present the price point so that they're willing to accept it. And it looks like the prompt is done processing. So let's go ahead and take a look at what it's put together for us. It has broken it up into a nice, multi-step process. There was 5 or 6 steps there. So we've got here my objective, but let's just drop right on down to the steps here. I see that I've got step 1, set the stage, how's the market? And it gives me the goal. And here's what's really cool is it's giving me, based on the context that I've provided, a script that aligns with the scripting strategies that we've trained this on. So it's not just inventing it. It's not just making it up. It's basing it off of real training information that we have put together. Now, I'm not going to go through every one of these steps, but I just wanted to share with you the quality of the response that it's going to produce. It says, over the last, again, this is the script it's giving me to share with that seller during the listing appointment. Over the last several months, we've seen the market in Southwest Austin cool slightly. Buyers are still active, but they're pickier, and they have more to choose from. The homes that are selling right now are the ones that are priced in the market, not above it. That's what's interesting is that even just a few months ago, people were getting top dollar because of the limited inventory, but the market has shifted since the last time Zillow ran the numbers for you. And then it says, pause and ask. Have you noticed some homes around here staying on the market a little bit longer or dropping their prices? Let them say yes. That gives you permission to teach. And so then it goes on to step 2, talking about the 3 Ps strategy and making it about strategy, not opinion. So we're going to switch the narrative from what's my house worth to how do houses sell. The way I approach selling a home is through what we call the new 3 Ps: preparation, promotion, and pricing strategy. That's a script that I'm very familiar with. It's like hearing myself speak here. Most agents still use the old 3 Ps: put a sign in the yard, put the MLS, and pray that it sells. That's not how I work. I show you how we prepare the home to show its best, how we promote it so it stands out online, and how we price it strategically to attract serious buyers. So it's giving us a really specific script and steps to take to set this seller up for success. And as a listing agent, with success for yourself and getting that signed listing agreement. And so I can even build upon this a little bit further. So let's say I had a CMA, which I do. I've got a CMA for a particular property. We're going to pretend like it's this one. Here's a CMA for the property. I just pulled this from RPR. I'm going to drag and drop that CMA like so. I can also use that little paperclip option to also attach this email, but you can also just drag it, drop it into the prompt window. And now what I'm going to go a step further. Those are all great scripting tips and strategies. I'm uploading the CMA, so you might be able to provide me with some really specific guidance on what I can say to the seller using related market information coming out of the CMA that I pulled. So now what we're going to do is we're giving the coach or the AI listing coach some real data. And with that data, it's going to help refine its response to us and give us even more specific things that we can share with that seller, because now it has full context. It's got not just full context on that seller situation. Now it has full context of that property and how that property sits in the market because of the CMA that I've uploaded into this tool. So it is generating the response. Let's go ahead and scroll to the top here to see what it has done to modify what we've put together. Now it's saying, open the conversation. Well, let's see here. Perfect. Your CMA is solid because it's built from RPR data. We can use it to anchor the seller in local market facts instead of our opinion. Below is how you can present the CMA to the seller step by step. The sample language for each section ties that real estate data pricing to your recommendation of $599. Now, what's interesting is this home that I pulled for is nowhere near close to $599. So let's see what the recommendations and how it dealt with that situation. Reframe their old Zillow assumption, $650 with current market data. Says when you looked up a few months ago, Zillow was estimating around $650, and that may have been accurate then. But the market data right now in Southwest Austin shows that in just the past quarter, median sold prices have adjusted slightly, about 1% year-over-year change, and the inventory has risen to 1.45 months. That's still technically a seller's market, but buyers are gaining a little leverage. So our pricing has to match what's actually going on. So what it's done is taking that market data and is including that as a reference and framing the conversation that I'm having with that prospective seller. We can see what the value range is. You'll notice the actual CMA has what the value is. So I would have to go back and revise what my suggested price would be. Again, when I started this conversation on showing you how to use this tool, I didn't realize exactly what the CMA was going to have in there until after the fact. At any rate, what we can see is this really customizing the response and how I can prepare and share this information with that seller. It's like having a listing coach on speed dial, or even better yet, here in the office where I can sit down, review this information, have a conversation, go back and forth to get to what I am going to feel most comfortable. I could even go further on and say, hey, can we role play? Can we do this? Can we do that? So the AI listing coach is really versatile in terms of helping you get advice, strategize, get tactics on what you can do. And again, for more than just working with sellers and going on listing appointments, but also in working with your buyers as well. If you haven't done so already, I encourage you to log into the AI Studio and check out the AI listing coach. Ask it some questions. Tell it about a recent scenario that you've experienced and how you might be able to deal with that differently. Another option or another thing you could do is if you've got a transcript from a call or an appointment you can that you've had with a client, is you can ask the tool to examine that transcript and evaluate it and give you coaching tips based on your consultative process or whatever the case may be. So definitely log in and give it a shot and let us know, give us feedback on how the tool is working for you. And while you're in there, be sure to check out the other AI Studio tools. There's a whole bunch of them for everything from generating marketing to creating pre-listing packets to getting branding tips and advice, and even helping you show up in ChatGPT when people do searches.